side at that point. I think that's like when I first started progressing left wing. I started like kind of like moderate, like sort of leaning Democrat, and then like became like a socialist and communist for a bit, and then now I'm back to like been moderated. I'm like a social democrat now, so it's like I made like a bit of a rubber band sort of elastic, came back a little bit, but economically at least. But like mainly it started through like my like love and passion for debates, like through like Omegle, and then like I started making videos because I would like kind of talk to like my sister about like political content and like everything that was happening, and she was like, "Oh, you should like start like a TikTok page. Like you like talking about this and you like going over this. Like you should like put this on the internet." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like I did it over a while. Like it took me a while to get into it. Started making videos, and then it kind of like spiraled and started going well. Like on some just like random videos of like TikTok from 2020 where it's like text and like music and stuff. So it's like nothing like in depth like what I'm doing in terms of debates, but it's kind of just like on the YouTube short form, or not YouTube, TikTok short form stuff.
Right.
And that's what I started with. And then like over time, like to sort of like just like talk to like the community that I built. I started doing like lives. Like this is in like probably like I want to say early 2021 or so. I started doing lives, and I would start just probably just like 30 minutes to an hour. I would just talk to the chat, do Q&A, and then it sort of extended. I would do multiple hours just talking to the chat. And over time, I started doing like I would talk about politics and stuff like that, like along with everything else, because I'd just like be talking to the chat, sort of just like a Q&A, like some of the Q&As I do now.
Right.
What's it called? I just like realized that other people were sort of doing this thing where like they would like talk about debates on TikTok, and I've seen debates like on YouTube and other stuff like that, but I never saw it on TikTok. And this was like probably like one or two people that did it. Like there was like no one in the space back then. There was like one or two people, and I was like, that sounds fun. Like I should try this on like the sort of Q&A thing that I did. And I like did like a background like with just like notes app. Different types of things. I believe a bunch of different beliefs behind me on a notes app. Screenshot
just with like paper clips and rubber bands, just kind of throwing it together.
Yeah, and I think I got like, I mean, I would get like 100 viewers on just like Q&As before, but probably like 70 to 100 at this point, because I'd been doing this for like every day for like probably 8 months to a year and a half of just video content, and then I went into the live streams and stuff. The live streams that I did for like probably about a year before I started doing debates. And debates really started doing really well. Like this, like first like singular topic I started doing was like about vaccines. This is vaccines are safe and effective, and I would debate people on like that and talk about COVID. And that's where everything started like blowing up and spiraling. Like I would still be at like 100, 200 viewers or so, probably like most of the time, but like I would like the algorithm was crazy back then. Like you would just like shoot up by a few thousand people and then shoot down and shoot up. Like it was fucking insane.
That would like really mess with me if I saw like I'm 100 people, then 1,200 people, and then like 50 people.
No, it was like at the beginning of the stream, it would have unbelievable push. Like that's just how they would do it.
I get what you're saying.
I would start live. And I would shoot out to thousands of people immediately because it just like it had that initial push like that, and that's how it used to work. And then over time they changed that, and now it's like more gradual and stuff. But in the beginning, it was like boom, like you're out there, and it was like kind of bad because you didn't have guests in the beginning, so like you would just be like you just talking, so like you could lose like thousands of people just by sitting there and not having like a debate. So that's kind of like how it was. Like, sorry, I'm getting on like a tangent.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so like I just started doing like debates, like singular types of debates, and that's where everything kind of started.
Okay.
Really, I think when I started doing like religious topics, it started extending out, and then I brought in like politics and stuff like that. I brought in politics really early, and it was just like one of my topics. But now that it's like my more central topic, it's like it's like a new era kind of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Guys, I know we have more people joining in, and you guys might not know what this is because it's been a little while since I did it, but this is Brunch with My Creator. This is a fireside chat interview with some of our favorite content creators. Today, we have Parker here. We are interviewing Parker. For those that are in the chat, guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live out. We want to get as many people in to actually get to know one of our favorite creators, Parker. With that being said, I know there are people requesting up, and you might see your request getting rejected by my mods. We are not taking anyone else. This is just an interview with Parker. And then at the end, if he has a little bit more time and availability, then we'll take some people up for questions. But that's only if we have time, and that's only if you guys have real questions. So with that being said, hey, Kobe or Athena, with that being said, Parker, so you talked about how you got started, and it's super interesting, right? Because like I know that the way that I found you is through my wife. Right. My wife, she was a big adopter of TikTok. I was like, not really interested in TikTok. But she would always sit on TikTok, and she would always like scroll through, and she started watching your lives. And then every day she was just like watching you. And I'm like, what are you watching? Who is this kid? Right. And every single day she was like, oh, Parker's on. And then Dean and just but I started watching what you were doing. And I was like, God, this guy is smart. Like he's really good and entertaining. So I guess the question that I would have is, I know you kind of spoke to like how things started, right? And how you built up. But when did you actually realize that like, I'm pretty good at this and I could actually keep doing this and people really enjoy it? Like there has to be a point where you were like, I don't know, versus like, I got this.
I feel like it was really late on. Like I'm like a really socially anxious person. So like, my expectations for myself in spaces like that are like not that like I'm gonna like blow up or that like people are gonna really like me. It's actually typically like the otherwise. That, like, oh, like I'm not really like providing anything useful or something like that. But over time I've been able to accept that more of myself because I've kind of just like, you know, because of the spaces I've gotten myself into. So I kind of just like have to believe it. Otherwise I'm like being delusional.
Right.
But like sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? I had it and I just like
Yeah. When did you realize that you were actually really good at this and this is something that you could keep doing?
Yeah, no, this was probably like a year ago, a year and a half ago, maybe. Like it wasn't that long ago for me. It was
Really?
probably like a bit before Dean or a bit after Dean, like where I was like, yeah, this is like a thing I can do for long term. Because I think it was like it was like one of like the first semesters before I graduated that I was like, okay, I think I can actually like do this because I was still thinking of going into doing a master's per se, which I can always go back and do. I can always go back to a master's, but I can't always go back and do TikTok. That's kind of like
no. Listen, I heard you say that to Dean like a week or two ago or whatever when you were giving him that same advice, and you're absolutely correct. I mean, like I think right now. Not only have you captured lightning in a bottle, like you have brand recognition, you have the ability to get your voice out and reach so many people. And it's kind of like, you know, I know you're into sports and I am as well, but how certain athletes, they turn pro, but then they still in their spare time work on their degrees and they still graduate or whatever. Like that's what you got because you have this opportunity in front of you and you can always get that.
Yeah, seriously. That's a really cool thing. And like, I'm also like in a unique position where like even if something does happen to TikTok, like I might be able to like find out other ways to be able to like continue doing what I love on social media because of like the position I've been able to get into through TikTok. Like it's just like a really unique sort of a scenario. And I mean, I'm really thankful for everyone that's like, you know, come with me through this like journey. It's like it's a really like it's cool to see myself grow like with like the community around me and like to see all like my friends and stuff and all like the connections I've made. It's just like it unlocks like a different aspect of myself, sort of like I never really was able to like my whole life. Because like typically like these types of conversations you have, politics, debates, that type of stuff, these aren't conversations you have with like people typically within society. So I didn't really have like an outlet for having these types of conversations. And like so it's like it also allows for me to like uniquely be myself when like throughout like a huge portion of my life, like I'm really socially anxious. So like I have a hard time with being able to express that aspect of myself until I feel like comfortable in that space. So like I'm really happy that I've been able to like make it so that like I'm, you know, enough used to the space where I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like you can tell how comfortable you are because you own your lives. Like I've never seen a live where because as someone who does, you know, lives, and I remember when I started and I had a bit of a imposter syndrome, right? Where I felt like, like I was really nervous, but every time, like from the point that I started watching you, I've never seen you seem like shaken at all. I've never seen a time where you didn't like exude confidence.
Yeah, no, and I think that's just because I've gotten so comfortable within the space. Like, I mean, like literally, like hang out with me in person. Like, I'm serious. Like, you will definitely see like my socially anxious side. I promise. Like, that's just like how I am in person and stuff. Like, but like on social media, yeah, it's definitely like that. And it's also like cool to see how many different perspectives people can have of you based upon how you interact with them, like in that sort of space. Like the type of like vibes someone might get from me, like sort of in the space where I'm comfortable, we're having these types of conversations, might be different than like what someone would get from me like at school, where like I'm just like the quiet kid. I don't really talk to anyone unless they talk to me, and I'm like just doing my work. Like that's
Yeah.
literally like how I was at school. Like I didn't really
Really?
talk to many people. I didn't make any long term friends at the school I was at all.
Really?
None at all. It was
That's
all
wild.
online, all just like me doing work and debate stuff. Didn't make any friends like that. It was like acquaintances at school, like we do homework with, and that's
Hmm.
about it. And that's because like some of the classes that I had were like one of them was really difficult. I'm like I need to like work with other people to be able to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
well in this class.
Well, so okay, you kind of led me into my next question, and I know this is something that a lot of people might have. Eh, Watching you actually debate, I know I've always thought like this guy, excuse me, has to have some type of formal training. Some has been on the debate team, like in school. So never, okay, you really,
No, all seriously, like my debate experience is debating on TikTok and debating on Omegle. And that's actually it. I didn't debate in high school. I was never a part
really,
of any clubs. I'm such
wow,
a social introvert that I never joined any clubs. I never did any of that. Like my whole life consisted of like me playing video games, right? Like once I moved to LA, because a huge way that I kind of like, um, how do I explain this? Like I mean I didn't really have like many people to like that I was like easy to connect with like in
right,
person because I'm super socially anxious, so it's like really
right,
hard for me to make that type of new connection. So
right,
going to like a new school was especially difficult because it's like really hard to like establish that sort of comfortability with certain people. So I kind of just like gravitated towards like staying with like my online friends
mm-hmm,
and like doing like that from like I knew from Iowa, like in the Midwest and stuff.
mm-hmm,
And we would just like play video games. So like I would just like play video games all day, every day, put literally hundreds of hours into different video games, playing them like all the time. And that was my
okay.
life.
Okay, wait. So this is kind of sidetracking now because I've seen again. I've watched enough of you, and you and I have talked enough, so I know you're on 2K. What, and I also know you play Fortnite. What's your favorite game? What's your system? What's your favorite game? And what do you think that is the toughest game that you've played?
PC is what I'm on. I haven't done console for years now. The
Really?
PC is what I have. Think of the Android. Thank you,
I'm
Tina.
such a
And
dinosaur. I still have a PS5. I have a gaming computer, but I play on my
no, that's not a
PS5.
dinosaur. That's not a Don't worry. PS5 is still really cool. It's like fun to use. We even have a Nintendo Switch downstairs. It's really fun.
Mm,
I like consoles and stuff, but like
hmm.
I just have this because it's like what I've been on for like a while. And I got PC when I started doing like CS:GO back in the day,
Right.
and stuff. So this is like a while ago, and I just got really used to it. I like the controls a lot more. I like using keyboard and mouse. It feels
Really?
a
See,
lot.
that's the part that I can't get with. I don't think I would like it.
Oh
Like
no,
I'm used
I
to
get it.
like here.
Yeah, do what you're used to. That's like typically what it's like for me. But like I got so used to doing keyboard and mouse that like it like on a controller I feel limited almost.
Mm, okay.
Like where I have a lot more control over where I'm looking like with my mouse than I am with like a joystick.
Mm,
And I really rely on my aim for like those particular games. I really love like those types of games where you have to aim really well. Like I like Valorant, CS:GO, like those types of things. Like
hmm.
I used to like Call of Duty, like all of that stuff. But yeah, no, mainly like I like Fortnite still. I still
Okay.
play Fortnite. I just haven't played much recently. I used to play like so much, but I haven't played much recently since I've been doing like TikTok debates all day.
Have you gotten Dragon Ball Spark? And I know I told you a while ago, like you
I
need to
have
play
not.
that.
I have not. I haven't
Dude,
played like any
I'm
games
telling
though.
you,
I got
that
you. I
that
got you.
game is
I'll
insane. It is
I'll pull
insane.
it up.
It is insane. I love sparking.
Yeah, no, it sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like maybe I need to like do stuff in the background like I used to. Like the thing is, I was gonna start playing games in the background, but then also what I have to do is I have to record my streams.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to record my streams, I can't play video games because I can't have the audio, like the sound
Oh.
in the background of the video, because it would, yeah, when I would record the VODs, it would do that. But
Yeah.
I can think of a workaround.
Yeah. Okay, so getting back into it, you do something that I find remarkable, right? Again, someone who does these streams and things like that. I know that like 3 hours is about my limit. Like I can do it for maybe about 3 hours, and then at that point I'm just like, all right, that's enough. I've seen you do like marathons, like 7, 8, 9 hours. How? Like that just doesn't make sense. How are you able to actually be on not only for so long, but to actually continue to run through this mental exercise?
I think it's just my love for it, my passion. Like seriously, like there's nothing in my life where I've been able to do that with. Like I genuinely like I love like almost every second. Like sometimes I'll get like a really annoying guest, but I basically love every second of what I do here. Like I just love it so much. I have such a passion for it that I could seriously do it all day, every day, and I do not have burnout like at all. Like
Yeah.
I can live, breathe this, and I will not have burnout because I just like love it so much. Like even when I would play video games back in the day, like there would be points where I'd get bored, right, all the time, where I would just like I can't play this anymore, or, like I burn out on this game, and I would just like go play a different game. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
that, like especially for like when I was trying to do like more competitive Fortnite, that's what held me back from doing that. But
Right.
I would just get like I can't keep playing like for this many hours every day, right? I'm not as passionate about that as I am like with debates. Debates, I'm just like I have a different level of passion for like it's like nothing like I've ever like done in my life. It's like my new video game special interest, but to the extreme. Like,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me. And I don't think that people really understand like how much energy, time, and effort it takes to actually do this. I think a lot of people just think, oh, you're on the internet just sitting in front of your camera,
Just having conversation,
right?
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so the one thing that I know, and again, something that I really appreciate about you is how intelligent you are, right? But you can't just be smart when it comes to being online in these streams. One, you have to be receptive to new knowledge. Two, you have to actually be someone who does a lot of research. And three, it takes prep time. So can you tell, the chat just a little bit more about like, what do you do to stay informed? How do you actually prepare? Like, what's your process?
Yeah. So one of my processes is talking to and finding people that I know are intelligent, that have special interests in particular topics, and like picking their brains, Like for example, like Matt's an intellectual powerhouse,
So fucking smart.
so fucking intelligent. You want to know how Matt and I met? We literally met because he would just say the correct answers in chat all the time, and I would notice that like when I was looking at the chat, every single time he said something, it would be correct.
Yeah.
So I brought him on after a while, and he would just be so fucking right on the live, like every single time. He brings factual fucking information,
Yeah.
super intelligent. Like you could just tell right off the bat. So obviously, like, or connecting with people like Matt has opened me up to an ungodly level of information and
Oh, yeah.
evidence and everything. Like seriously, I think I would seriously prescribe like a huge portion of like my even my intellectual curiosity, but like also like my intellectual growth. Like, and I would literally dedicate that. Like Matt is a huge reason why, because I'll get a bunch of academic articles from Matt, like news, media, like references from Matt. Like he gave me really good sources to look up through like I wasn't as familiar with like AP and Reuters and
Right.
and NPR and PBS back then, but like now I'm a lot more familiar with those and like sort of like especially like what the basis is for looking for that type of independent media versus just like any typical media
Right.
source you look at. So it's like that type of stuff. That's the type of research that I'll do. Is I will whenever I meet someone who I can obviously identify as intelligent. If I have the ability, I pick their brains,
Right.
in sort of ways that can be like used in my life. Like you can ask them a bunch of different questions and things that might not be relevant to you, and obviously you'd have like a really entertaining time. But also it's cool to sort of taper the questions that you ask people like who are in those positions, like things that would be useful to like your sort of line of work or like what your goals are. I mean, for me, it's really easy with like Matt because like it's just like we're going to talk about things we're really interested in,
Right.
and like that relates to like my job. But like if you have like a different job in like a different field or you're doing something else, like asking questions and networking with people who you deem and like see as very intelligent or
Yeah.
is really good for like your intellectual curiosity and for your intellectual growth.
Yeah, no, listen, it's something that I pride myself. I love the saying that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And having the ability to not only connect with those people, but being able to appreciate those people. Because certain people are intimidated by other intelligent people, right? But when you realize that there's a wealth of knowledge, resources, and you don't know everything, and you can lean on people and you can get references and you can grow that way, like that makes you better. And like I remember the first time I heard Matt, and I met Matt through you as well, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's smart. Like everything he was saying, I was just like, holy smokes, he is on it. So I get that. Okay, cool. So the next question that I have is just I know a lot of people are probably going to have this question, and I'm sure that, well, just to knock it out, so this isn't something that comes up when people come up later, but what advice would you give someone who's looking to actually become involved in like actual content creation? Because you've not only been able to parlay your success with these lives into success with content creation, but you've grown into other aspects where you're doing things with Jubilee, you're getting invites to the White House, like you're doing all of these wonderful things. So if someone's looking to actually get started or looking for an opportunity, what's something that you've learned over your years? Because I know you've given me advice on the back end. What's some advice that you can share with everyone else so they can, if this is something they're looking to do?
Yeah, with content creation, like one of the like the main things I would say is really important is making sure to always reflect upon your behavior and like what are the purposes and goals of like what you're doing, right? And one of those would be like the fact that you want your message to impact people in a positive way and impact as many people as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
like you have to be very analytical in your approach to content creation because if you're not analytical to your approach to content creation, it's inevitably going to fail, right? And you have to be able to continue it up all the time. Like it's the thing about content creation, which is like it's not like I would be like, "Oh, yo, you should go do this, everyone I know," because like there's a lot of negatives that come with it and it would be that like you're always thinking about ways to keep yourself afloat. And it's like you're in the ocean and there's waves that are constantly sort of going over you
Mm-hmm.
and you might lose a little bit of ability to breathe for a second but then you can breathe again,
Right.
right? You swim yourself up to the top a little bit, and like the water's just going over. It's kind of like a wave pool. Like, well, you won't be able to breathe for a second, the water's over top you and then you're fine. So it's like always trying to find your way to like stay afloat and to like keep breathing in that type of way. And it takes like an approach like like you have to look at analytics, collaborate, super important. Focus and refine your skills. So like for me in my particular niche, it's like debating, right? I had to work on like my skills in debating and like how I talk to people, my education in order to be able to have a basis for content that people are like want to engage with. And then on top of that, it's not just the information that's provided, it's the way that you bring people to the information that you have, the education. And that's through the context of entertainment. And a lot of people they'll put a huge level of emphasis on solely just education. I think that's a great thing, and a lot of people that works great. But another thing that we can do is that we can bring people to be educated towards the information by entertainment. So spending at least even like most of your time on entertainment isn't necessarily a bad thing, even if you were to do that, because it still directs people towards the education and the information that is positive. And you can do that through entertainment just as effectively, if not more effectively, than just doing it through education purposes solely without entertainment. Because a lot of the times people will just see the information and they'll kind of write it off in their brain
Yep.
as like not relevant information
Yep.
because it didn't have that entertainment aspect to it. So like
Listen.
if you light that entertainment aspect of their brain off, right, they're more likely to see that as relevant information, at least to their social life, their cultural life, their daily life, things that they're doing. So they're more likely to retain that information in the long run. So that's why I think it's so important, especially to have educational spaces like within the debate community,
Yep.
because it's like not only does it bring entertainment, but it also gives the education, gives the information. So you can kind of like implant them together. And it's a really unique way to be able to like educate in society, and I really like what I do. Like it's so amazing. I love the like everything about what I do.
You know what's funny, and I know you're going to get this. You can't have the steak without the sizzle, right? I mean, I think a lot of people take that for granted, and I always talk about the information, education, entertainment, right? Because you can deliver a message, but if you're not actually holding people's attention, then that message will never get across. And you have to have that certain entertainment factor. And I know, I remember when I used to watch you, it wasn't just that you were spitting facts and you were just giving information, but it was you were dunking on people, right? The actual celebration, like the joy, like, you know, the back and forth discourse. But it's that aspect, and I've explained this to multiple people, like you have to be able to not only deliver your message, but you have to actually be able to resonate with other people that might not actually get, especially when we live in a society where people's attention span is so short, right? You only have a few moments to actually capture someone's attention, and in order to hold them. And not only is that something that you've been able to do by, you know, clearly the way that you move the needle, but with you sitting on live, I've sat and I've watched your lives where I'll sit there and I'll put your lives on the background and I'll play video games. So it's not just like me watching your lives. It's like you're a part of my day as I move around. So I'm playing video games. I'm watching your lives. I you know, wash dishes and you're still playing and whatever. So you've mastered the ability of not only providing information, but giving that entertainment portion that holds people attention. And that's so important.
Yeah, because like especially for me as well. Like I'm not going to be able to like just look at information all day. I have to myself even have some level of like entertainment that I'm watching in order to be able to keep myself like sort of attentive to that. And that's not a fault of us as individuals. Like that's just like the society we live in, that like that happens to all of our attentions. That's just how our biology responds to our environment. That's just how it is. It's nothing bad about us in particular. But like we can also utilize that in a manner in which can be very effective and useful. Like the amount of information that I've been able to get because I've been doing this over and over and over again, like repeatedly over and over. It allows me to like really refine my skill set and to put attention to things that typically speaking, if I wasn't able to put so much time into, I wouldn't be able to think about. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to put attention to.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. So I got two more really quick questions for you. And because I know I said about an hour, and if you're up for it, we'll take a few questions.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, perfect.
I could probably like do like 2 or 3 of those. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first question I have is more so around like where we are in this space, right? Because I know that
here I can still hear you. I'm just grabbing some real quick.
Yeah. So you've been around and you've made a bunch of connections, right? You mentioned Matt, but I've seen you like kind of cross with multiple creators, right? You talked about how you learn from Matt, or you know what? I'm sorry. Before I get to that one, the thing that I've learned is that with actually doing these lives and speaking with different people, there are certain people that are unforgettable, right? There's a lot of times that you actually talk to people and then they come back and they're like, oh, you remember me? I'm like, you're generic guy number one. Like, I'm not sure who you are. If you can come up with a time that you may remember, like just an absolutely insane interaction, whether it be, you know, it was a time where you actually were debating someone and they had you on your heels, or just someone that was completely outrageous. Like, what's your most memorable moment while actually doing what you do?
Ooh, that's a really deep question. I don't know. I have to think about that for a second. Most memorable scenario on the live.
I see people saying Liam, but listen. So I'll say this to the chat while Parker takes a moment to think about it. It's not Liam. It's
totally
not
isn't.
Liam.
It totally isn't.
Because Liam is like he's always around. It's not like there's anything that sticks out or what. Like Liam is Liam, but whatever. So
I think I'll give one positive and one negative. Positive, one positive individual that like it just like, wow, like I'm really, even to this day, I'm like, that this is exactly why I do what we do. And some people said in the comment section is blown. Like literally, like he came on our lives.
Who is blown? I don't know who that is.
So it was this guy that was like, he was definitely like more like right wing, like and whatnot when he first came on, like super Trump type of guy. And by the time that we finished, he changed his view, and he's now on our side. He's literally now on our side because of the content of me and Dean like literally debating with him like over and over again. It literally changed his perspective. So I think in a positive manner, like that is like one of the best things that at least showed me that like literally like there's a lot of people out there that even initially it might even seem like I might not be able to get to them, but we can. And this content actually does get us to do that. That really was like extraordinarily heartwarming. Like that provided so much fucking hope for me. So I would probably say that's the most memorable, positive moment that I've had on the streams. And then for negative, I'll just give like a it's probably like one of the people that like what's it called? Like admitted to like a crime or something on the live. Like there was one person that admitted to being within January 6th on my
I've
live
had one of those as well.
before.
Like, what are you talking about?
That I think that's pretty fucking insane. That is pretty fucking insane.
No, like it's.
But if we had to attribute like a negative person, older millennials probably one of like the more like, he's like a terrible fucking human being.
You know what's funny, and I've said this before. Like I've never had an interaction with him because I wasn't really in like TikTok spaces while he was like doing his thing. The only real like memory I have of him is when like it was you and Dean in his space and you guys ended up debating. Like that's the only like real knowledge I ever had or interaction I had with him outside of that.
Yeah, no, he's insane, actually insane. And even, Elon Musk has been tweeting out videos of him explaining things.
Really?
Yes, getting like tens of millions of views each time he does it.
That's not
like
good.
It's actually insane. It's insane. And then the thing is on Twitter, it's like you call out Elon in any way, they won't send that tweet will not push out.
You're not getting
seriously pushed. Like they have something in the algorithm to limit that type of stuff. Like that's pretty obvious to me at least. But like I don't know, the whole way Twitter's run, like they say it's free speech, but if you limit people in the algorithm for saying things that like are against Elon Musk, that's not free speech.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right? Like it makes no sense.
All right, so Parker, I got one last question for you. But before I get to my last question, guys, we will take just a couple of questions. So if you are interested in asking myself or Parker a question, hopefully it's Parker, not me, go ahead and request up. We will only take a few people. Now, the parameters around that is when you get here, have a question. If you don't have a question, you will be kicked. So we are only taking people. And you only get one question. So when you get in, have your question ready. Go ahead and ask your question, and then we'll move forward from there. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and start requesting up now, and we will move forward from that. And you know what? Let me do a thing, right? I know this is Brunch with My Creator, and I normally don't do this on Brunch with My Creator, but I want to make sure that we appreciate Parker while he's here. So guys, we have 1.4 thousand people watching. Let's show Parker some love. Let's blow up his gifts. Also, his pay links I know are in his bio. You guys show him some love there as well. He is actually giving us some of his time. It's early on the West Coast. It's a Sunday. It's the weekend. Make sure that you guys are not only taking care of him with gifts, but send him a couple of, thank yous, I love yous, some nice notes or whatever in his pay links, his Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Make sure we're doing all the wonderful things to show Parker that we appreciate him, not only for what he's done, but for his time that he's given us, and just for all the information, education, and entertainment that he's provided for us over this time in TikTok, on Twitter, and all the other spaces. So with that being said, the last question I have for you, Parker, you have kind of cross-pollinated with multiple creators. You've influenced a lot of creators. You have a lot of good people on your side. But if Parker was ever to go to the dark side and actually debate someone that is more so on the left, and it can't be Dean, because I know that's the first thing that most people say, oh, Parker versus Dean. Can't be Dean, because I see Matt here. Excuse me. I see Athena here. You've interacted with Johnny. Like you've interacted with so many different people. If you had to 1v1 one other creator that's not Dean, who do you want? Well, okay. Who do you want that you think you can beat? And who do you want that you think would give you the most difficulty, or is it the same person?
Who would I want to debate and who would give me the most difficulty? Ooh, like who is the best left wing on TikTok?
That's not Dean.
That's not Dean. Okay. Um. I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much, Rihanna. Thank you so much. I want to say the like. Can I give two people?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I think it's equivalent. I think Matt or Athena, right, would be the hardest to debate.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And the person I would want to debate.
Really?
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
Okay, so
absolutely.
explain that.
Yeah, if you're taking the opposing position to either Matt or Athena, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like you're cooked, all right?
Like I get that, because like for me, Athena, like morality, I don't want to do that. Matt, holy shit, I would have to have every single tab open on my computer
Yeah,
and ready to like.
Yeah, you're probably wrong. So it's
holy
like
shit.
So it's like you've got to like be delusional, you know. I would be a conspiracy head. Like I'll just make up whatever conspiracy I want.
Say
you know
whatever
what I mean?
you want. You
can
can't
literally,
prove me wrong.
As a right winger, you can essentially just form your own beliefs based on whatever you feel like.
You're absolutely right. You don't have to have any facts. You can just say whatever you want, and
yeah,
you know,
seriously.
and then you just keep throwing out as many things as possible, so they don't have time to actually shoot them all down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen, Parker, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. Thank you for actually being here and doing this. Again, this was the relaunch of Brunch with My Creator. And I said this in a video, and once I text you with the idea, my whole thought process was, if I'm going to relaunch it, if I'm going to go big, and it doesn't get any bigger than Parker. All right. So thank you for actually doing this. Thank you for being here. With that being said, we got a couple of people in the box. We will let just a few people up. And again,
I could probably do 2 to 3 questions or so.
Okay, that's perfect. With that being said, guys, FYI, I'm just letting everyone know. First of all, if you guys watch me, you know that I don't play with the drop button. I've told Parker this. I've told Jessica Simone this. I've told Erica this. Like, people are way more friendly than me. Way more friendly to me. So if you get up here and you're looking to debate or talk trash or any of that other crap, I will drop you immediately. We're only looking for genuine questions. So if you don't come up here with a question, or you come up here and you're looking to debate or anything else, you're getting dropped. Just an FYI. All right. So let's see here. Loading. All right. Is it Andrea?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, Andrea. How are you?
Literally.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Literally, I came to talk to both of you.
Okay. Well, what question do you have for Parker?
One question that I think I have. I'm a psychology major, so I've always loved to ask this, especially to content creators. You're always live 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but every day of the week. Does anything that anyone say within the Republican side or Democrat side that's negative, does it get to you? And how does it, or like, how do you respond to it?
Good question.
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. Stuff gets to me all the time. Now, for the streams, I might not be showing it as much. One, because it's hard to show like how you feel in that type of scenario, because it's like something that's even really hard to like even verbalize. But yeah, of course, yeah, I absolutely am impacted in a negative way. That's the reality of like social media and being in these spaces, is that like you're gonna be hurt. Like there are countless times where I've been hurt by things that people have said. People have come up and said absolutely disgusting things about like my girlfriend, just by knowing that she's a Mexican American woman. Like that's literally it. Like that's literally all they know, and they'll like come up and use that to say something insane, and like that stuff really gets to me. There are for like the other types of things, like the way people might act, like if they're just like mean to me or something, that doesn't really impact me like at all, really. But it's like when people like try to go after like stuff, like people that I care about, that's probably like what I would say, like in terms of those ways.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say that I kind of relate to your girlfriend. I am a Mexican American with illegal parents. So knowing that Trump wants to like deport a lot of people, it's like, well, what's gonna happen with my family? Like, are they gonna get to me? And like literally, like that's the only thing that's in my head. And at night, it's like it makes me cry because it's like I don't want my parents to like be, you know, taken away.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then I
No.
kind of see the good side of it, and I'm like, there's no way that he can deport 11 million people.
Yeah, I think for a fact, like there's a lot of people that are going to be affected over these next 4 years, and I've said this to multiple people. The most important thing is going to be community, right? Making sure that we are supporting each other, making sure that we're there when we can be, and just making sure that we are combating misinformation, disinformation, and standing up for what's right. So, yeah, you don't worry too much. Control what you can control, and just make sure you have a safe, strong community to actually move forward. And just to kind of wrap that up and answer your question, for me, I might be a little bit different because I'm a little older. But no, like it doesn't get to me. I literally I don't most things I don't think about, but I will say this: there's one person or type of person that gets to me online, and that's black men who are disrespectful to women. And that's the only one. Like those are the ones that actually get under my skin. And I guess it's because I relate so much to being a black man myself. I relate to them, but those are the one group of people on this entire platform that actually get under my skin, and I will go after them every time. And those are the only ones that I kind of think about. But outside of that, I mean, again, I think it's because I'm a little bit older and I have like a million other things going on, and I've been through like so many other things in my life. There's nothing that anyone could say or do on social media that would actually to really get to me. But thank you so much for coming up with that question. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah, thank you to you guys.
Appreciate you.
I've learned a lot through Parker, especially through you too, Santana. Just thank you for always standing up for women's rights, especially.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
a
Thank you
dream
so
of
much.
ours. Bye.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
All right. Let's get the next person in here. Okay, here we go.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you guys for all that you guys do. I've watched a lot of Parkers and Deans, and I've watched a lot of you and Johnny, and I've learned so much. I have become a total nerd politically. It annoys my family because they're all Republicans, and I am and I am not. So I just want to thank you guys.
No worries. Did
No, I
you have a
appreciate
question
you.
for Parker?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys real quick.
Okay.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank
It's really
you.
nice meeting you. Have a great
All
day.
right, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Listen, we appreciate the thanks, but we want to make sure that we maximize the opportunity of anyone coming up. So if you are coming up, make sure that you please have a question. Please have a question. I see that we have someone in the queue. I'm going to save this person for the last person, but let's get let's get this person in here. Hey, Andrew. I'm sorry, Anthony. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yo, what's up?
Anthony, what question do you have for Parker?
So I know the pre-qualifications was to have a question. So I would just ask, what was your favorite brand of water?
Oh, come on, Anthony.
Oh, that's a
Hey,
Oh,
that's
I
a
remember
tough
that. I remember that.
I had
Yes.
to get in. I had to get in to ask this, but mainly, I've been following Parker for like the last 3 years, and I will tell you that my entire thought process has changed. Not to out myself, but everything in my life has gotten better since I've started following Parker, and the Lose This app is just going to be devastating for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
No,
No.
Just want
I'm
to
not-
give thanks to everybody I follow.
No, I really appreciate it. You've been around for a really long time. I trust me. I know who you are. Like you've been around for a really long time, and I really appreciate that. So it's really nice to be able to hear that I've been able to like help out in those ways. Like that's a really cool
Yeah,
thing.
no,
I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be on social
No.
media.
I'm going to
like,
be following
regardless.
you forever, for sure. So it's
I
definitely not an
appreciate
end
that.
here for sure. So much love
Absolutely.
to you guys.
Absolutely. Wait,
appreciate you.
Parker?
Yeah. So
Answer
the
the water
water. See, the thing is, I don't like have like a specific one. I'm like one of
He
those
doesn't.
people like where I don't have like favorites, but like I could say like ones that are bad. Like Dasani's pretty trash.
Dasani
There
is
you go.
trash.
Yeah.
Facts.
I was about to say
And
that as a
Aquafina.
joke, as like a
Aquafina's
joke.
horrible.
Yeah.
Wait,
they're
okay,
pretty
hold
bad.
on. For both of you guys then, because I've traveled all around the country, in and out of the country, all of this other stuff. What state have you traveled to that has the worst tap water?
Wait, actually, I was gonna say actually, you know what? Tap water from my fridge is probably like my favorite.
New
I know that's not like
Jersey.
a bottled water, but that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But the worst water. I don't
States,
know.
I was
I
thinking
haven't
New
really
Jersey
like.
and Texas.
No.
I'm trying to think. I don't
my,
think I've really.
my wife just put it in the chat. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't think I've had bad tap water.
I see people
Maybe
saying it
Texas.
now.
Maybe Texas.
No, there's one that's way worse. Have you guys been to Florida?
I haven't been like to Florida like otherwise outside of the airport. Only when I was a kid.
Oh,
Like,
their
there's a
water
layover.
is so bad. It's so
Really?
there's a weird smell.
Florida water's pretty rough.
It's this weird
I think it's
smell.
the
It's weird
the-
taste.
The nonstop humidity just doesn't filter out.
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
yeah. All right, perfect.
Florida.
Thank you, Anthony. I
So,
appreciate
all right,
you.
much love to you guys. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you. The humidity doesn't filter out as funny. I've
Yeah.
never been to like a bunch of
It's
states. So I
not
wouldn't
good.
know.
There's a smell to it as well. So it's not just like the tap water. Like when you take a shower, and it's so crazy. It's like as soon as you hit the Florida Georgia line, like it's instant. Like if you smell it, it's like what the fuck is this? So whenever I'm in Florida, I always get like bottled water, and like taking a shower is the worst.
I think there needs to be federal protections for like water, and that's why like when Trump is like, you know, hitting down the EPA in certain ways, like that's not helping our ability to like actually like ensure that there's gonna be like good environmental standards when it relates to like water, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Parker, if you're up for it, I'm going to bring in one more person for an actual question. So make sure you guys have an actual question. If you don't, I'm dropping you immediately. And then there's one other quick person I want to bring up just for a second, if you don't mind.
For sure.
All right. So again, I'm going to bring this person in. Make sure you have a question. Oh, okay. Here. Tech Memphis, how are you?
Yo, what's up?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Wonderful,
Doing good.
wonderful. Tech Memphis, what question do you have for Parker?
My question revolves around how you said that you're the type of person that I was growing up. I'm really shy. I generally don't speak out. I don't even have a profile picture. How do you build your confidence?
Yeah, that was really hard for me, was building confidence, and that for me that comes through. I think it's different for everyone, but for me, I think that it was the best through like just like you have to like it kind of like exposure therapy, like get yourself out there and do it more, right? Do it over and over again, and once I like have like a process that I understand that this is the way that it's gonna go, I have expectations that allow for me to like feel less anxiety about like a particular type of interaction. I know how people are going to respond to it. I know, like, I know what I'm going to say. Like, I know how everything's going to go, right? It makes it a lot easier for me to not be, like, sort of anxious about it, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's why, like, even for me now, like, I need to do more in-person stuff because I still have that type of, like, anxiety, even with, like, in-person, like, debate stuff. Even with, like, someone, like, just, like, a typical person. Like, it's not, like, even, like, just, like, with people who are, like, notable or anything. Like, it's just, like, in those like recorded like types of spaces, like, or even just like communicating in typical conversation in person, it still is kind of like that for me. So it's a lot of exposure therapy and just like identifying a process and like following through with that process.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I love what both of you do. So
I appreciate
Keep up
you
the
so
work.
much. Thank you. Have a great day.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Last but not least, I want to. There we go. I want to bring up one last person, and I don't know if this person is going to have a question or not, but we're still going to bring this person up. It's someone that I absolutely love, one of my favorite people on this app. Johnny, how are you?
Hello. I have a question for the two of you.
Okay.
Bet.
So, so my question here. So, I think we all want to know. I don't just speak for myself, but everybody here. Who is your favorite debate streamer whose name starts with a J?
That's a great question. That's a great question, Johnny, and you're gonna have to answer that question as well. Parker, do you want to start, or I can start?
How about you start?
Okay, cool. Well, to contrary belief, all right, I love Johnny. I do, Johnny. I love you. I love you so much. I do. But
Gotta
there's
have
someone.
a Y in it too. It's got to have a Y in it too.
Well,
And they need to be
okay.
Italian. They got to be
Oh,
Italian.
you're putting too many parameters because we can do the Y, we can do the J, we can do the Y. I'm gonna say it. She is absolutely my favorite debater, and she doesn't even like really debate, right? It's more so conversations. I was on her stream last night. I hang out with her all the time. I text her all the time. She is one of the most phenomenal people that I've met on this app. Jessica Simone. I'm sorry, Johnny. Jessica Simone is absolutely amazing. She is so smart, so funny, so patient, which she has the patience of a saint, something that I don't have. I love you, Johnny, but I got to give it to Jessica Simone, and that's always the answer for me.
No, it's fine. It's okay.
You know what, Johnny? I got you. You're my favorite with a J and a Y,
And
that is
Italian.
Italian.
Thank you. See? Thank you.
Okay, wait,
You
Johnny.
know what got to me? Some people started commenting debaters with a J, Y, and who are Italian, and I'm like, who? What? Who are these people?
Okay, Johnny, I got this for you because this is the question I have for Parker, and so now you have to answer this one. If you were ever going to go to the dark side and you had to 1v1 someone in a debate from the left side of TikTok, who would you want to debate the most, and who do you think would give you the toughest time?
Is this like if I'm MAGA now?
Yes.
Oh. All right. Parker, you're too intelligent, and that's scary. Santana, you slap people down really hard, so that's scary. Oh my gosh. Whoever I pick is going to be a softie. So now I'm scared to say it because then I'm kind of calling them a softie. Can I skip? Can I get a pass?
No.
Johnny,
You got to pick someone.
I would go debate. I would debate me because I know my weaknesses. So I'll go with me.
Okay.
I'll go with me.
Okay. All right. That's a fair question. All right. Perfect. Johnny, I appreciate you so much. Thanks,
man. Y'all have a good one, okay?
You as well.
Be best. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, as we wrap this up, I want to take one more moment to, again, say thank you, Parker. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving me some of your time. Thank you for talking to people. I know, like, I've watched you enough. I know that people are always clamoring to actually, get a question to you. The fact that I've never had this many people in my request box ever proves the fact that everyone had something for you. With that being said, I want to actually give you a moment if there's anything that you're doing, anything that you want to bring attention to, anything, any places people need to follow you. Like, what do you want to say to the people?
Yeah, all I would say right now is that like we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok, everyone. We have like literally a week. Something's going to happen. So we'll see what's going to go. I have stuff set up. Like if something does happen to TikTok, everyone, YouTube is going to be the place where I'm going to be mainly. And that's where I'm going to try to build like streaming stuff like that, community there. If something does happen to TikTok, because I mean, TikTok, I'm just going to be totally honest, has said that they would literally shut everything off in the US, like literally the 19th, if the Supreme Court indicates that they're going to uphold the ban. So the one thing that could be good is like a temporary like injunction, where there would be like sort of like at least like it would give us more time. We'd have a lot more time on here on the 19th, and that would carry it over to the next administration. We don't know what would happen then. It still could be cooked then. We don't know. Yeah. But that's what I'm really hoping on right now, at least. If that doesn't happen, though, YouTube is going to be it. It's just Parker Get a Job. You can find it in my link tree, or you can find me on the other socials. But YouTube is the best place to go to out of all of them.
How long have I been? I've been saying this now for months, and I'm going to say it again out loud in front of everybody. Why aren't you getting a Twitch?
So I'm going to do Twitch as well. I was going to do do both. So dual stream Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Yeah. But the thing is, I just know that YouTube's a lot bigger than Twitch. The thing is with Twitch is that the community on it isn't as video related, which is kind of be like what I'm going to also do. I'm do video and that. And then also there's no algorithm. Yeah. YouTube, there's at least some level of an algorithm.
Yeah. You've talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And well, let me read this off real quick. Braden, thank you, Braden, for the donation. You said, I love you, Santana and Parker, too. Do you guys check your TikTok DMs?
Every once in a while, I'll check some, but like I just get a lot of DMs, so it's like I can't respond to every
Yeah,
single one.
no. So
Maybe like another
just,
job.
just an FYI for me, I'm not supposed to. That's what I was told. I'm not supposed to. So I have someone who is absolutely amazing. I won't call her name because I know how she feels if I put too much shine on her. But there's someone, and people who are around often know who that is. And she actually, I'll send any of my inboxes to her, and she'll tell people to actually inbox her. So she knows who she is. If you need to get in contact with me, you've probably seen her around. So that I'll answer that. Last but not least, I want to go ahead and throw this out before we call it a wrap. You know what? I said this at the start of the stream, but I guess I'll go ahead and lay it all out. This week, because not only do I do debates, right? You guys know, Sparring with Santana, we do that. Also, make sure, what time are you going live today?
I'll probably I got a shower and then also go get food, so I'll maybe like 2:30.
Okay. Favorite food, real quick. Go.
Favorite food, sushi.
Oh, okay, that's really good. All right. So make sure you guys are looking out for Parker. As always, he goes live every day. He does debates. I do debates, but also I do what's called Late Nights with Santana, which is panel discussions. It's not really debates. It's actual conversations where we have multiple people up. We talk about different topics. This week, I've announced the topic. The topic for this week is going to be, we're looking at different G-sides that are happening all around the world, how people are being affected, how can you help, how can we support, just to make sure that we're educated, because I know a lot of people know about what's going on with Palestine, but there are a lot more places that are being affected outside of Palestine. My special guest this week, who's going to help me lead these conversations, who's going to actually guide the panel, is someone that I know and love, but it's also someone that Parker knows and love, someone that I actually met through Parker, Athena. So Athena's going to be locked in with me all this week, helping me lead these conversations. So guys, if you are available, please join us for Late Nights with Santana, which is 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, where we will have these conversations. We'll be talking about these different G-sides, and we will also be taking up donations to help support these G-sides. So if you are available, not only join, spend your time with us, but if you can also help contribute, we'll have not only information, but we'll be able to let you know how you're able to donate, and we will be doing everything possible to help support these causes. So if you're available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, for 3 hours, Late Night with Santana, and we will have my special guest Athena as we cover different G-sides that are happening around the world. With that being said, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Parker. Real quick, if anybody else is in the chat and you want to show Parker some love, blow up his gifts, tell him thank you. I want to see 1,000,000 W's in the chat for Parker. I want to see you guys flood his gifts. I want to see you guys show him the appreciation and the love for the Godfather. I don't have a good Godfather impersonation, but for the Godfather of debate talk. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for being here. Parker, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. You are amazing as always. I'll see you later.
Appreciate you. Have a great day, man.
You as well. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. This is a wrap. This is another great edition of Brunch with My Creators. I will see you all later for Sparring with Santana, where we will be going one-on-one with Trump supporters. And starting tomorrow again, we will be back with Late Nights with Santana, where my community flushes out multiple things that are happening, and we will be dealing with different G-sides all around the world. Guys, if you are not following me, make sure you hit the follow button. And also, please follow me on all of the other social medias, on my Blue Sky, on my Twitch, and on my YouTubes. Please, give me a follow. Turn on the notifications so you guys see when I go live. I do this all the time. Twitch, YouTube, you guys know I love you to no end. TikTok, I love you guys as well. I will see you out here in these TikTok streets. And as always, peace.